It's my first time seeing the car in person. Black Rhino on a black car, because when you accelerate, it's gonna do that. When you brake, it's gonna do that. Tap on this, it's gonna drop just like that. Okay, drop it down like that. Oh, suede or Alcantara. More fiction, right? Welcome to CarSceneKorea. I introduce newly released Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia cars, and many other brands as well. As you saw from the thumbnail, the car I will soon have behind me today is KGM Mobility's first and latest car, that is Musso EV. For your information, there are some clarifications I need to tell you about when it comes to Musso. I will tell you about it when I have the car with me, but behind me today is the winners of EVs here in Korea. I want to give you a walk-around tour of this place quickly, what Korea has got to offer, what EVs are excelling here in Korean markets. And just so you know, all of these cars, I have detailed information, reviews, test drive, POV, side-by-side comparison. This is the Ioniq 9, the first three-row EV SUV, flagship full-size EV SUV from Hyundai. Before I do a whole review on these cars, once again, I have detailed reviews of all of these cars on my channel, so please check them out. EV4, a bit controversial with the rear design because we only get the sedan version here in Korea while European markets get the hatchback. Well, that being said, let me just quickly show you the rear of the car. I don't know, I didn't necessarily get all the praises in the world with the rear design, but I know it looks gorgeous with the hatchback design. Once again, I've recently done over 1,000 kilometer test drive with the car. This is such a beautiful, pleasant car to drive around, efficient, practical, price-wise, range-wise, you name it. And the Polestar, as well as Volvo EX30 series. I cannot skip on these cars. Hyundai NEXO, this is the first hydrogen car, and it makes the second version of the original NEXO. And I also have in-depth review of the car. I will soon give you the test drive with the car. Ladies and gentlemen, I am at KGM Mobility booth, and I have all the Musso EV and Musso lineups behind me today. Musso is actually the name of one of the early SUV from Sangyong brand, which later is M&A'd by KG Group. So KG Group decided that they will use the Musso as their pickup series. So Musso is no longer just name of a vehicle, but it is a name, the brand of all the pickups to come from KGM. Now that you have that background information, right? It's the Musso EV, therefore you can suspect that this is a pickup truck EV, and which essentially this car very much is. It's my first time seeing the car in person. I didn't get to show you up close detailed look of the Musso EV, so let's dive into it right away. A few more background information about the car. It is that this car is actually, in fact, mostly derived from Taurus EV, which I have the review, exterior, interior, and the test drive, so feel free to check them out. And it's no surprise that they look pretty much identical on the front. So you're not wrong, you're not mistaken. The design is straight from Taurus EV indeed. This is the blue color. I will include and tell you the precise name on the screen. Although Musso EV has the front design of Taurus EV, like I told you, there are some Musso EV explicit designs, such as this accent, the red accent found right here. So you can choose to have this versus not, as you can see with the black one missing over there. This is also Musso EV explicit design as well, kind of giving us the look of the cladding and the fender physically stitched together, if you will. So this is found all throughout the corners and the cladding fenders of the car. And this right here has always been there ever since the time of the Action and Taurus, which is also just for the looks. I know there is the outlet here, and you might think that you could install some accessories here, but I encourage you to not do it because it's just a piece of plastic attached right onto the bonnet and the cover. Now that we are front of the car, I want to pop the hood and show you what's underneath this Musso EV. For your information, the car is offered in two types. That is one single motor on the front or dual motors on the front and rear, making it four-wheel drive. I will tell you about the numbers and specs momentarily. Everything is covered underneath the bonnet, as you can see, and the sound absorbers underneath. It has everything that a car needs, of course, right? Except that it does not have the front. Again, it is the nature of the car being, so I'm not gonna cry about it. I think they've done a great job with covering up the inside of a vehicle, making it look nice and neat and clean, just like so. Things where they need to be. It's very straightforward. So let's go check out the rest of the design of the vehicle. Currently slapped around 245/60 17-inch, a square setup, same size all around, and an EV after all. Most of the wheels is covered up, and the cladding is finished in plastic with the charger on the front. And there is the indicator. I think it will light up differently depending on the charging condition and status. You can pull the top one for the slow charge and one underneath for the DC combo fast charging, as we all know. I think KGM could have done a better job with the charging cover here. This is one of the very early charging covers that we've been seeing. I wouldn't necessarily say this is the deal breaker, but could have been better, right? The profile of the vehicle, and this right here is the logo for Musso brand. And this is also a functional handle that you can grab onto when you climb up and down of the vehicle. And another stitch found on the rear cladding, seeing wheels and tires, self-explanatory. And the quarter view of this KGM Musso EV, a step for you to easily get up and down the truck bed, and that rear taillight. What do you make of this? Some people also made fun of this being a dog bone. Not the first time hearing such. Seems like, I don't know, maybe the market trend lately, but I actually met this car being driven around on the public roads and streets here in Korea. This actually really is a head turner. It's unique. I like it. I like when it lights up, illuminates, and there's also the blinkers in the middle, which is different from the TORRES EV that I'll show you momentarily. So the TORRES EV has a taillight, while Musso EV has this. All right, well, let me close the truck bed and give you the rear design first. Big KGM engraved inside, the plastic finish on top of the truck bed as well, instead of just leaving it all exposed, because that way you could less worry about damaging the top portion of the vehicle. Good old Musso actually had like the rhino design on one of the characters, one of the alphabets here. Would have been nice if they carried over that lineage and heritage, something that's missing on this Musso EV. This is mandatory and regulated by law here in Korea that all pickup trucks need to have the maximum load attached on the rear of the car. It has maximum load capacity of 500 kilograms, which surpasses its bigger brother Musso Sport, which is the ICE internal combustion engine pickup truck that has 400 kilos. 100 kilos, that's 25% more than its bigger brother. Drop the truck bed right here. I actually feel the rubber finish. I like that touch. Tap on this, it's gonna drop just like that. Okay, so it just literally physically drops. There are some other cars in the market that will actually do have a little bit of a buffer towards the end that will prevent the car truck bed from bouncing up and down like this. Maybe room for improvement for the next vehicle. Again, not a deal breaker, it gets the job done. I like the touch that it actually has the plastic cover where it just used to be the wire string. I don't know what's composed inside. It could be another wire string inside. However, I like the cover finish around it. It's not just for the looks, but it could also help with the safety as well. Cup holders and other cut outlets so you can make a full use of the truck bed, which you can always do this, of course, right? Before KGM was Sangyong, and Sangyong definitely knows a thing or two when it comes to off-roads and when it comes to pickup trucks. I really admire and like the fact that KGM is carrying over the lineage and heritage of the pickup trucks, so I have very high hopes for this Musso EV. The price came out to be very competitive thanks to subsidies and also Korean government pushing forward the era of electrification, and I like how KGM and other manufacturers are responding to the market and the future here at EV Trend 2020. 2025. This is an annual event, so next time you visit Korea, you might want to check the schedule, see if you can come check it out, because this is the heart of the EVs here in Korea. All right, so that's what the truck bed looks like with the camper setups on top. You can get very creative. I actually want to move over to that car, what the taillight looks like, and the license plates on both of the sides like so. Drop it down like that. Oh, okay, so this one didn't bounce. So maybe it had to do something with the blue one over there. So as you saw, let me try it one more time. All right, so that's what the truck bed is supposed to do. So let me tell you a little bit about the pickup trucks here in Korea. It has to be 2 meters by 2 meters squared in order for a car to be categorized as a pickup. And of course, you want to be categorized as a pickup because different laws and regulations apply. You know, simply put, different money and different costs. There's a good reason why KGM needs to meet and be categorized as a pickup truck, which this car is, of course. Again, you can easily let yourself up and down the truck bed like so, utilizing the SAP. There are other covers and rails, accessories that you can attach to the truck bed of this Musso EV. By the time you get this car where you are, there should be a lot of aftermarket accessories, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's go check out the interior of this Musso EV. The moment I step inside, it's KGM everywhere. Well, I did my homework, and everything that you see inside here is straight from KGM Action, which is an ICE SUV from KGM family as well. So the steering wheel, the shape, the size, the layout, where the buttons are, it's exactly the same, included together with the center console as well. The AC vents, ambient lighting, interior, even this infotainment system, which is composed of dual 12.3-inch monitors left and right, identical to that of the Action, which I have videos on. So if you want to know more about it, please feel free to check that video out as well. So that is inspired and borrowed from Korean national flag. So phone related buttons on the left and ADAS related buttons on the right. Favorite and big question here though, they have the whole button dedicated for auto hold only. I think it would have made more sense if this was the drive mode, but again, this is the auto hold. All right, so you can change your drive mode using these buttons here, either surround view cams just like so. All self-explanatory, not the highest resolutions I've seen, to be honest, but I really like the fact that it provides a variety of views around the car. It actually shows the rear of the pickup truck because you need that a lot with a pickup truck. It's different from an SUV. You do pull this car very tightly close against the wall, the loading, unloading area, you name it. There's also 3D display. I will also come up with a test drive video of the car too. So meet me over there for more details as to how this car feels like, how this infotainment system feels and looks like on the streets and roads. All the other things, self-explanatory, the buttons and the lightings, you can see it all, and it also comes with the sunroof, not the wide panoramic sunroof, but sunroof. So you can slide and tilt the seat using the buttons on the sides. It's always good to have, much better than not having it. And the center arm console in the middle, just like so. Not a rocket science. Center arm console in the middle where it needs to be. Not the largest one, but not bad at all. Armrest working and serving its purpose. So use this shift lever up and down in order to change the drive modes. I did go over about this in my Taurus hybrid video, pros and cons about this, so refer to that video. It is that you actually have to toggle twice in order to put the car into reverse. And one in the middle right there, perfect spot for you to store your smartphone. Not actually, because when you accelerate, it's going to do that. When you brake, it's going to do that. So not the most ideal position to have the smartphone, but I guess you can get creative with that. Rather, I put the smartphone here where it needs to be because that's where the wireless charging pad is located. So the rest of the interior here, the C-type charging ports and some of the ambient lightings underneath, more ambient lighting on the sides even. This is something that we don't see on the competitor though. So this is a plus for Musso EV and KGM hands down. And Alpine premium audio, which is only offered on limited or the highest trims, if you will. Double check with your local dealership if you can include that Alpine audio system. So black Rhino on a black car. Let's get inside the second row of Musso EV. And this one is composed of the black interior, as you can see. No curtain, no blinds. It has the heated seats on the second row. All right, now I am inside the second row of Musso EV. It's the same thing as the brown we saw, except that this is the black monotone interior. I feel quite boosted when I sit on the second row seat, and I can actually look underneath the first row seat, and it's actually sitting much lower compared to the second row seat I am sitting inside. It's really boosted up, and I think you can see from the camera as well that this seat is sitting much higher up in terms of the ground clearance. And there is the latch in the middle here that I can actually yank in order to do this. Check this out. So you can slide the second row seat up and down just like so, and this definitely feels more comfy when you slide the seat forward, and that's about the difference you can get with the seat slid forward and sit pushed back all the way. And there's another button here, and you can do this for this side, make it look like that. And also I like this kind of detail. So you see right here, this will actually go in here. That way you can actually fold the whole seat and not have that seat belt in your way. And I should be able to do it, which you can yank this and fold the second row just like that. So use it as your storage, and let me get some space out this way. So you can see you can use it as a storage, and looks like there is also the charging port outlet, power outlet here for Musso EV, and the Velcro finish, I like that. So this is what I mean. So it does not do this when you unfold the seat. So there's a lot of paying attention to fine detail like this. Good mix of leather and Alcantara. I don't think this is the Alcantara, but it has this suede finish to it. It gets the job done, and the reason why manufacturers mix the use of these two different materials is that the leather tends to be a bit more slippery, while suede or Alcantara, more friction, right? So the seat physically provides you more grip when you're sitting inside. Self-explanatory, armrest in the middle, two cup holders just like so, and the AC vents for the second row seat together with the charging ports, two of them on the second row seat just like so. So more of that storage for your document and whatnot, and that button that I showed you just a moment ago, and you can use this as the handle or a coat hanger if you will. You can also store your purse should you wish, and you can also fold the seat from this side, do the same thing just like that. So it's really as easy as that. Let me show you this side as well with everything folded down. So this is what the car looks like with the second row seat folded down just like that. So that is the quick walk around and tour of 2026 KGM Musso EV. First pickup EV from KGM based on TORRES EV. Speaking of which, I want to wrap up the video quickly going over the TORRES EV because they have it up here for display, of course. So this is TORRES EV or TORRES EVX to be precise. As I have told you, it has the same front design, just like so, and different accents and different front bumper compared to the Musso EV, but you can see where the similarities lie. And this right here is actually the wireless charging pad. I actually also shot a video, a prototype technology from Whitetricity utilizing Genesis GV60 to wireless charge the car, and this tech could push out about 3 kilowatts. I wonder what the number is for this one. I can't see the number for this wireless charging pad, but I'm sure that it will do more than 3 kilowatts. And you might think that's just too slow, but imagine having this at your garage, at your parking lot, so when you get back home, all you have to do is pull your car forward, do nothing, it will be charged up next morning. So that's the whole idea behind it, and also being able to charge an EV rapidly wherever you parked your EV. So it's the same thing. This design is borrowed from TORRES EV, as I have told you, found on Musso EV, and the taillights is what's different, as I have told you. The car being an EV, KGM decorated up with the tools so you can actually utilize that, draw electricity from the car and use it as your workhorse. And there is actually actually the door handle found right there, just so you know. Lastly, the interior of this TORRES EVX. Different color as you can see, but it's essentially the same thing. And this is actually all covered up on the second row seat. So this is actually a cargo TORRES EVX. So it's not a passenger seat. The second rows are deleted for the cargo purpose, as you can see. So it's actually a two-seater workhorse. Also an EV, as I have told you. So there are some numbers I need to get out of the way, which is really important that I missed out. That is, this Musso EV is based on TORRES EVX, as I told you, right? But it has elongated wheelbase of 47 centimeters. So thanks to that longer wheelbase, there is extra battery compared to the TORRES EVX. TORRES EVX originally has 73.4 kilowatt hour of battery, whereas this Musso EV got 80.6 kilowatt hours. So that's quite a lot of upgrade and improvement in terms of the battery capacity. The more, the better, of course, when it comes to an EV, right? So there are two motor choices with this Musso EV. First being the front wheel drive single motor that pushes the car with a 207 PS together with 30.4 kilogram force meters of torque. With the dual motor, there's going to be a motor on the rear, the same motor as the front. So multiply that by 2, yielding 414 PS together with 69.2 kilogram force meters of torque. And the size of the car is 5,160 millimeters long. That is about as long as Kia Carnival, just so you know as a reference, together with 1,920 millimeters wide on the front. And one real last factor that I'm going to point out is that the truck bed, this plastic design is actually also designed with the spoiler in mind. So it's not just the cover on top, but it works as a tiny spoiler. You might ask what that's gonna do. Trust me, this actually does work. There is a feature and thought put behind this. All right, that really is it for today's video. Bye-bye.